Can the cops write you a ticket for speeding even though they didn't use radar and they only used their eyes, visual observation? That's up next. Welcome to Happy Hour. So I've watched a few videos on this topic before making this video, and I have to say I'm not very impressed. It's all over the place. Some of it's right, some of it's inaccurate, and it just builds upon some of the misconceptions. And so I want to try and kind of set the record straight in this video series on radar, lasers, aircraft, pace clocking, and visuals. And today we're going to talk about visual estimation of speed. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Mike the Cop. I think he's doing a great job on his channel of explaining police work. He has the same temperament and the same kind of viewpoints in policing and citizens' interactions that I had when I was an officer. So I'm talking to Florida folks here, and the reason why is because the laws from state to state may vary. This video, although for general purposes I think will be sound for a long time, there may be intricate changes to the way the statutes are written that may affect things differently. In Florida, a police officer must be certified to use a radar or laser. Now, this is important because this is an advanced course. I'm not sure if it's advanced specialized. I'm not sure if officers get more money for it. There's certain classes that provide salary incentive to officers. I'm not sure if that's one of them or not. But either way, from a young adult's perspective, they want to do the cops and robbers thing, and running radar is one of those things that people who are driven to be police officers kind of want to do. The point is that going to radar school and becoming radar certified is pretty popular. And so the classes fill up. And they have a lot of the classes because it's so popular, but the agencies have to pick who they're going to send. This is where we have our underlying quota system in law enforcement these days. I don't think there's a true quota, and they're illegal, and I've never been told you got to write a certain amount of tickets. But there's no doubt about it that promotions, selected positions, advanced schooling or educational opportunities are based in large part on the officer's productivity. So if there's two officers that want to go to the radar school, they're going to put them at odds with one another, and they're going to know, even though it's unspoken, that you're going to get picked to go to radar school over this guy. Sometimes this gets manipulated to the point where it's an extreme to the version of a, so to speak, quota. But I don't think that's the majority of the time. I think the majority of the time it's just good business practice or good use of government resources. I can't complain about them promoting productivity. We want to promote that within the government. God, we need it. We need it. The radar and laser school is really just an overview of the basic principles of how radar and how laser work. They'll learn some math and some of the equations, but it's all in one ear, out the other, because for the most part, you just point it and go. It's really easy to operate. In addition to the how it works aspect, there's also practical aspects where you have to go out and you have to measure distances with the laser. You have to show you can properly do the calibration checks, and you have to actually measure a speed of a vehicle. Now, one of the requirements according to Florida statute under 316, I think it's 1906. Yep, it's 1906. So 316, 1906, and 1905 are really the primary workhorses for speeding tickets and how that stuff works. So 316, 1905 and 316, 1906 are the statutory powers and restrictions on running radar in Florida. The statute says before the officer even activates his radar to clock you, he must make an independent visual estimation of your speed. This could help you out in a situation if an officer is hiding on the backside of a hill. Is he able to make a visual estimation of your speed in time before activating the radar? I don't know. That's a whole fact argument. We're not going to get into that. What it's designed to prevent is police officers sitting in the median of the expressway with their radar blasting, front and rear antennas going, and just checking on cars. It's like a search of the vehicle. And then once the number pops up on the screen, they just go get the vehicle. That is relying too much on the machine and not enough on police work to verify accuracy. That was a mouthful. Need another drink. So the visual observation, once that's made, according to the statute, is then confirmed with an auditory tone the Doppler radar exhibits. And then only after those two things match up does the officer look at the radar display unit and then says the speed is 67 miles per hour or whatever it is. The problem is that very rarely happens like that. Now, I don't want to say never, because plenty of times I've been sitting on the side of the road, bored running radar, and I would just practice guessing the vehicle's speed, and I would get it right, a lot of the times. Estimated vehicle speed, though, and the fact that they're trained in it makes it sound really sexy. I did 40 visual estimations, and I think that's what the number is. They have to do 40, or it was when I went through. I had to do 40 independent visual estimations of a car or cars as they're driving down the roadway, and I had to be able to point at that car, say that car is going 45 miles per hour, and then that was confirmed by radar. Or, yeah, it was radar, it wasn't laser. So that's how that works. So that sounds pretty good, that I was trained, I was taught how to estimate vehicle speed. But that's not the true version of events. Because really, what that doesn't take into consideration and what that doesn't tell you is that we were parked on the side of the road with 4 or 5 cop cars, and we're a group of people with several troopers, state troopers in uniform standing around, and 30 of us in academy recruit uniforms. The people weren't speeding. So when the speed limit is 45 miles per hour and you know it's 45 miles per hour, you can guess 47 miles per hour, and you're probably going to be within that plus or minus 5 mile per hour ratio. So not an accurate assessment. Maybe we got a raw deal on it. Maybe they're doing it better elsewhere. I know the local police academy, they're doing some things that are really high speed. So they may be doing something different. A guy from a local police department, he's a sergeant, runs that show. Here he does a good job. I haven't been through his courses or anything like that. Here he does a good job. I know he knows what he's talking about. And I really hope that they're doing more realistic visual observation training than what I had to go through when I went to radar school. It's funny, I won't go into it, but school had some drama with their radar program here a couple years ago, and so some of the officers, instead of going to radar school, actually went to the movies instead of doing their evaluations, and they got caught. So a lot of hoopla was made about that a few years ago. Sorry for the rant. So that's what the Florida statutes require, but it goes a lot deeper than that. You see, the Florida statutes refer to the department. It authorizes the department to make rules governing the use of radar. And so the department is the Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles. That's what we call it here in Florida. I think most people refer to it as DMV. The Florida Administrative Code is kind of like the unknown laws of Florida, because it's the underlying laws that are written to make the statutory laws that everybody knows about work. And they are not very well organized, and it's very difficult to search them by relevant information. Knowing these rules is in large part how I make my living. You can help me with that though, because if you hit that subscribe button and I get to 1,000 viewers, I might be able to generate some ad revenue from this stuff. Maybe pennies on the dollar, but at least something. A lot of work. To come full circle, we've explained that the Florida statutes require the officers to make a visual observation. And because they require the officers to make a visual observation, they are trained in their radar course to make visual observations. That's point 1 and point 2. Point 3 is the training, as far as I know, still sucks. And unless they're doing something different now, and they may be, then it ain't worth a shit. So the officer's ability to accurately detect speed is not there, in my opinion. To your question, can they pull you over for speeding for a visual estimation of speed over the legal limit? Yes, because to pull someone over, you only need reasonable suspicion. And that is a really, really low standard. Doesn't take much. So they could pull you over for speeding, but they would require probable cause to write you a ticket. And a visual estimation of speed is probably not good enough to rise to the level of probable cause. Some officers instead will write the violation of a traffic control device because they don't know the exact speed you're going, but they do know that you're going over the legal limit. So they're going to say that you violated the speed limit sign by exceeding it, and that in and of itself is a violation of traffic control device. Traffic control device is a signage or any type of signage or markings on the roadway. Traffic control signal is a traffic light itself. That's a really good case for you to fight though, because there's case law on point that says when an officer pulls you over and cites you for a violation of law, they need to write the ticket that most accurately describes the violation that took place. So if you're running or pulling someone over for running a red light, you would not write them for violation of traffic control device because they ran a red light and there's a specific statute for the red light. So yes, the officer can pull you over. Can they write you a ticket? Probably they shouldn't, but they might. And if they do, I think you should either hire a lawyer or fight that one in court. It's Mother's Day next weekend. Here's what I want you to do. Leave a comment in the comments section about what you're getting your wife or mother for Mother's Day. You're gonna help each other out. Let's team up here, get some good ideas going. I'm gonna put some affiliate links down below on some gifts that my wife pointed out she might like, or she might think your wives or mothers may like. And if you wanna support the channel, I'd appreciate if you do it. Won't cost you any extra money. If you like what my wife picked out, no problem. God bless, guys.